Hey, what's up, guys? My name's CDome. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to go over the Pubg Pts patch notes for console, Xbox, and PlayStation 4. Just dropped tonight. The PTS server will be live tonight at midnight Central Standard Time, or midnight everywhere. I'll have to verify the times. But I thought it'd be cool for us to take a second and go over the patch notes together. It's a huge patch, probably one of the biggest that I've seen so far from PUBG. Which is very good news for us console players. PUBG Mobile already has Vikendi, the snow map. PC has obviously been having the snow map. They just got on their live server. So let's pull up the patch notes together. I've read through them once briefly. There's a lot to go through. So we'll go through each one. I'll try to break down as much as I can for you guys to help you understand what to expect. And then I've also played the PC map a few times myself, so I can speak to you a little bit about some of the changes coming. So let me pull them up here. Okay, so this is the Xbox patch notes, but the PS4 patch notes will be the same. So December 21st, obviously that's tomorrow, PTS update will include our new 6x6 kilometer map, Vikendi, new weapons, graphical settings options, and mini quality of life and bug fixes. So big things I see here: map, 2 new weapons, really one that's important, we'll go over that one. Graphical settings options, which we've been asking for a long time, but don't get too excited yet. And many quality of life and bug fixes. So let's jump in. So hey everyone, this week we're updating the PTS, blah, blah, blah. The update will include our new map, weapons, graphical settings, etc. Please note that the parachute overhaul is currently being optimized for console and will be releasing an update at a later date. So what they're talking about there is on the PC, they recently optimized the parachute mechanics where you could jump out the plane smoother, you could fly down vertically faster, have more control over your character, and when you pull the parachute pin, or cord rather, you can fly faster and have more control and cut the chute at an earlier time. So a lot of cool mechanics I've played out on the PC that are not coming yet for console, but they will be soon. So keep a lookout for that. Okay, so here's the PTS notes below. So first thing, the most important thing, is the PTS is a separate download from the normal live server for Xbox and PS4. So you have to go to your media library in your game system. So on Xbox, you just go search for game, you type in PTS, and that'll come up that way. You can type in Pubg PTS, it'll come up that way, but it'll specifically say the words PTS on it. It's a separate download. I think it's about a 19 gigabyte download. If I do recall, I just downloaded it myself. It's either 12.9 or 19.1. We'll verify that. Okay, so make sure to download that first of all, and you can download that now before the map drops in 4 hours. So you can download that now, have it ready so that when it does go live, you can jump right on in with no waiting. So let's jump right in. So for healthy matchmaking, some modes have been disabled in PTS. Please see the below for the available queues. So for NA and EU, we're going to have TPP solo and TPP squads. So no duos and no FPP at all. It's unfortunate, but that's what we usually see with PTS. Vikendi will also be the only map available to play in the PTS, so that's good news. So that means you don't have to worry about maybe getting Sandhawk or Miramar. You can just jump in and play the new map over and over and over and over. This is the new map Vikendi in all of its glory. So it's a 6x6. That means when you actually look at it on your console and you open up the map view, you'll see 6 of those big 1 kilometer squares, horizontal and vertical, as opposed to the 4x4 of Sandhawk and the 8x8 of Erangel and Miramar. So the gameplay on Vikendi will be quicker than Erangel or Miramar, but offers arguably more tactical experience than Sandhawk. I have to say, the few games I played with Vikendi, the few hours I played rather, are really fun. The map itself is phenomenal. The dynamic terrain of the game is really neat. The vehicle interaction is really neat. The ice mechanic is really neat. They really nailed this one. What they didn't do, which they'll probably improve, is the looting mechanics. So down here they say offers arguably, man, it's a tough English word for me tonight, arguably more tactical experience than Sandhawk. The weapons aren't there to support it. So players can throw snowballs while waiting to board the plane in the lobby. Vehicles will have less traction or snow in icy areas. Acceleration on icy terrain is slow, and you will lose more general vehicle control as you speed up. This is 100% verified. It's actually pretty difficult to control vehicles in the snow if you're not on the actual roadway, the carved road path. And if you go on ice, forget about it. You can forget about it. Footprints and vehicle tracks will appear as players travel in snow-covered areas. So this is actually a super cool mechanic. Not that I've never used that mechanic to actually play in the PC server, but You could look down and at any point see your live footsteps, and it actually changes direction depending on which way you face your character. If you went backwards, you can do like a bunny hop and jump and kind of make a little gap of your footsteps. So it's a pretty cool mechanic. I can see it being a neat thing in smaller games, or when it gets down to the tighter circles. If you're in like the forest and you haven't quite made eyes or laid eyes on your enemies yet, you could use that to see, did someone run into this compound yet? Because they might have closed the doors, but they can't brush away their footsteps. So that's pretty cool. And it says, keep in mind your footprints and tracks in the snow don't stay around forever. Red zone. Okay, so red zone. We all hit the red zone, right? The center of the red zone spawns outside of the play zone. The smaller the play zone, the smaller the red zone. So what that means is, if you're one of those edge players, you're more likely going to get caught in red zones than before. But the smaller the play zone gets, so the further late into the game, the smaller the red zone is going to get. So less likely you'll be able to get hit by it. So that's really cool for me. I hate the red zone. I think it's entirely too loud. It's unnecessary. They should remove it. But if they're going to have it, making it smaller and easier to dodge, I'm all for. The blue zone. So the first circle of every game is much smaller than other maps, but subsequent circle sizes change less drastically. This facilitates more blue zone variety and unique experiences. Similar strategies work in Vikendi that they do on Erangel and Miramar for the first 3 phases, but the zones will close slower starting from phase 4, similar to Sandhawk. They feel this leads to a good balance between strategy and gunplay throughout the duration of the match. While that may be true, the gunplay is the biggest question mark that I've seen from Vikendi so far. It's been a lot of SMGs, and a decent amount of M16s, but just overall AR spawns, sniper rifle spawns mainly, it's lackluster. It can really use a percentage boost in that area. Hopefully, they might have done that on Xbox, but if it's a straight port from PC, then so far they have not. Item spawn balance. So the overall item spawn rate is at a midpoint between our maps, offering a unique place between spawn rates of Erangel and Sandhawk. We'll see. Level 3 helmets do spawn in world. They no longer are only loot crate items. Level 3 helmets spawn in world. I don't agree with this change. Level 3 vests spawn more often than other maps. I also don't agree with this change. I think if anything, level 3 vests should be back with level 3 helmets inside of crates. It's a complete domination change when you can find a level 3 vest, even if you don't have a helmet. Smoke grenades are spawned at higher rates compared to other throwables. This is very much a good change because on this map, there's a decent bit of cover. There's a lot of small forest sections that you'll see when you play the rounds, but there's also a lot of open areas you have to run in between those different forest areas. So it's not like Miramar, how it's just open compound to open compound to open compound, and you have to hope that you kind of got a little ridge to hide in. This map does provide a lot of good cover for trees and bushes and rocks, but for that open ground, having those extra smoke grenades does come in handy. So now here's the new beauty, the new AR, the G36C. So in short, this thing is a Scar L on crack, okay? So it's replacing the Scar. You won't be able to find the Scar when this gun's in that same map. It has the same, basically same everything the Scar does. The only thing different is that this is a higher rate of fire, which means it has a higher DPS, damage per second, but it also is going to have more recoil. It's going to be harder to control the recoil pattern because it fires faster than the Scar L. Now, while that may not be a huge problem on PC, Xbox and PS4 controllers are going to be much harder to control that recoil than on a mouse and keyboard. So it'll be interesting to see how they've dumbed down the recoil, first of all, to match what it should be on a console, but to see how much that's going to differ from a Scar L or even an M4 that's kitted out, because this, you can't attach a tac stock because it already has one. So it theoretically can have almost as many attachments as an M4 because it already has a built-in tac stock. So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. New sidearm. So the Scorpion is the newest sidearm. So this is not a secondary weapon, it's a sidearm. So this is a new handgun, the Scorpion. It spawns on all maps, single fire and full auto, which why would you have it on single fire? It should only be on full auto. Come on. Uses 9mm ammo. Comes with 20 rounds, but can go up to 40. So it's like an ump. It can have up to 40 rounds. And get this is the kicker. It takes red dot sights, suppressors, vertical foregrip, half grip, lightweight grip, and laser sight. So if this is anything like Xbox currently is, the light grip, that's the vertical grip with the holes in it, the light grip is going to be the one you want. It's going to be OP. But if it's anything like PC, the vertical foregrip will be the best one for it. And then it also takes a stock like the Micro Uzi. So I haven't used this myself. I actually ran past it a couple of times, not really learning too much about the weapon, but just reading this here of what it can take, because I thought it was only like the Uzi. This thing might be a beast. Might be a beast. Scorpion is also available in the training mode. Have fun. Okay, we will. So new vehicle, the snowmobile. So guys, this vehicle is actually pretty dope. I've driven on this a few times in the snow. It can hold 2 people, so you and your buddy. Controls much better than the Jeep or the UAZ in the snow, because it's got the tracks and the snowmobile. What do you call it? Bananas in the front. Whatever you call those things. Skis. So it only spawns a Vikendi. Why would you want it on Miramar, right? It seats 2 players and performs much better than other vehicles on snow and ice, but is more difficult to drive in other terrain. Other terrain being the dirt. So there's actually parts of this map where the snow stops and all of a sudden just a dirt path or a dirt road, and then it does slow down considerably on those areas. QOL, quality of life. Wow, we need a lot of that, huh? Minimap. Players can now further magnify the minimap, which on the surface might seem like, what the hell you need to do that for? But these compounds have a lot of buildings tacked really tight, close to each other, real close to each other. So you can now zoom in further on those compounds that you're fighting in and get a specific mark on a specific building where you're calling out an enemy, or hey, I dropped ammo here, I dropped an armor here for your vert grip or whatever. You can really get exactly where that position is now, which is cool. Player order consistency. So player order between lobby and in-game is now consistent, so that players will have fixed numbers and colors based on lobby order when they enter a game. So that means you and your buddies are playing, you'll have a squad, and you play all night, 15 rounds back to back to back. You'll always be the same numbered in the bottom left of your screen and the same color. So a lot of players do that. They'll use color callouts. So say, hey, vertical grip on blue or M249 on yellow. And so you always know which player and which color that's coming from each time. So that's nice. Nothing huge, but nice quality of life. Here's a big one. Added field of view slider in first-person perspective mode for FPP settings. Now, what they don't tell us is how wide and how narrow they're going to let it go. So what field of view does, for those of you who do not know, PCs, almost every PC game has that, and that allows basically you to see more in your peripherals in your TV or on your monitor, whatever you're playing on. So that can be really huge for widescreen monitor players, but also benefits people like me. I have a 28-inch 4K HDR monitor, and having a wider field of view will kind of shrink everything a little bit. It'll make everything a little bit smaller to see, but you'll see more in one snapshot of your screen, so it's less panning that you'll have to do while you're running around or aiming or looking around in the game. Another big one here. So they added graphical settings options for Xbox One X. This is probably the biggest thing I'm taking away from this patch. Now, obviously, we haven't tested it yet, but this could be huge. This could be huge. I remember in the beginning of the video, I said, don't get too excited yet. Now, here's why. So graphical settings for Xbox One X. For this initial round of testing, so guys, keep this in mind. This is just the test phase. This isn't polished yet. The graphical settings options will only be available for Xbox One X players. We are finally getting something for paying $500 for a console, which, by the way, Xbox One X is on sale, $100 off right now. Just saying, for Christmas. We are actively developing these options and are aiming to have them ready on all Xbox consoles as soon as possible. The OG and the S will have different settings because they're not as powerful. So frame rate priority, if you choose this option, it'll maximize your resolution to 2560 by 1440p. So a little bit higher than 1080p, but not as high as 4K. And the refresh rate will be maxed at 30 frames per second. This is the best setting for ensuring a consistent frame rate. Now, for those of you who don't know, this game only runs at 30 frames per second. It's not a 60 FPS game. But currently, in its current settings, you never get 30 FPS anyway. You're lucky to get a constant 20 FPS. So hopefully what this will do is minimize the visual quality of your game, but maximize your frame rate to what hopes to be a constant 30 frames per second, which I know it sounds like it's a pleb territory coming from the PC version, but it would be a big improvement for us console people. You can choose resolution priority. This gives you up to 4K resolution, but refresh rates at 30 frames per second. But what they're not saying exactly here is that it's not going to be 30 frames per second, right? This is the best setting for ensuring highest visual fidelity. So obviously this is going to give you less frames than this version will. So me personally, I just bought a 4K monitor. It's got HDR, 60 frames per second, all that good stuff. I'm super excited about it, but I'm probably going to choose this option. I'll compare them both. I'll do a comparison video and post that online for you guys to take a look at too. But I can see myself definitely choosing a higher frame rate. It'll be a smoother gameplay experience than this one would be. The dynamic resolution is not available for testing. Yelling at us. Changes the resolution in real time. Okay, this sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. This is the best setting for ensuring an optimal performance balance between frame rate and visual fidelity. So on the fly, the console is going to reduce your graphical output to increase your frame rate, or go vice versa. I'm not sure why someone would want to do that. I don't understand that one. But we haven't seen it yet. Further details are being finalized and tested internally. Great, we can't wait. Gameplay. Decreased recoil of the P18C. The P18C. The fully automatic pistol that no one ever uses ever. Okay, awesome. So decoil has been decreased. Decoil? Recoil has been decreased on that one. Okay, here's something huge. Improved the sound settings and options. Wow. We got sound settings, guys. So first, the sound settings are now separated. They're separated into master volume, FX volume, UI volume, and music volume. So if you're anything like me, UI volume goes down to like 1, just a barely you can hear a little tick, tick, tick. That's all I want to hear. Music volume gone. FX all the way up. I want to hear footsteps from 1,000 feet away if I can. Master volume all the way up. Maximum number of forward running sensitivity has been increased from 50 to 100. This is big. The maximum value would stay the same. So if your forward running sensitivity was 10, it'll go to 20. So you won't have to go back in and like, oh shit, I have to redo my settings. It's automatically going to adjust to the correct setting so that you don't feel anything different if you don't want to change it. But if you do want to change it, you have the option to increase that. Now, why you would want to change that, so this is to have a more specific value here. So why you would want to change it is this is so if you ever had issues when you're running, let's say you're running down a hallway and you want to get into a room and the room's off to the left or the right, and you kind of got to change your direction just a little bit left or right. Well, a lot of times you'd find yourself getting caught on the doorway. Your guy would kind of not know how to move left or right, or stop going straight to go left or right, or vice versa. You were moving left to right and you wanted to go straight and you wouldn't do that right away. So moving that slider left and right will adjust how sensitive your controller is to responding to those left and right and vertical movements. Performance. I think right now, just for shits and giggles, I think I'm at about 22. So mine will go up to about 42, 44, whatever they're going to double it to. So just an FYI of what I play at. Performance. Okay, so here we go. Improve the client performance by optimizing the... Okay, I'm not going to go to each one of these. So this is just saying that they've improved some bugs. They've optimized some things in the game to make your game run smoother. In essence, you guys can read that if you want. I'm not going to go through all of them. But the point of that whole section is for your game to run smoother. Okay, so we're all happy about that. What else? Reports. Okay, so they've done reports. Added the report player function to event mode games. So this is new. This is cool. So if you run a lot of custom games like I do, I mean, a lot of my buddies always run custom games in the Xbox PUBG community. I also host PUBG Xbox tournaments with OGC. So we haven't had this issue yet in the tournaments, but in just custom games, we definitely had. So if you invite people in or random people come into your game and they ruin the experience by team killing or they cheat somehow or whatever, now you can report those people in a custom game, and there's a specific option to report for team killing. It says you cannot report the same player more than once in one game, though. So there you go. Bug fixes. Here we go. Okay, what are we at? We're at 20 minutes already. I'm gonna have to trim this thing down. Bug fixes. Fix an issue where players could sometimes climb stairs much faster while moving diagonally next to the wall. This is good. So this is good. Fix an issue where down player's character model would sometimes penetrate walls. So this is also good. So that way, if you get down, you can't see through a wall and tell your teammates where the enemy is. Alternatively, if you're downed, you don't accidentally come out through a wall and get shot and sauced. Fix an issue where characters would look like they were sliding while standing up if they took out a weapon and stood up at the same time. This is huge. So players who are prone, they go to a standing position. A lot of the times, their character would kind of move in like a diagonal, gradual position. And so you'd be shooting at them thinking they're going to go up first, then left, but they go like a diagonal motion and they completely dodge your bullets or something like that. That's what this is fixing. So that's a good fix. Fix an issue of seeing headless characters when using healing items in FPP mode. I don't think this is really going to do much for you. It's just going to actually show you the head of the person that you were playing as. So I've seen that, but I don't think that's really going to change anyone's life. Fix an issue where a player appeared to slide when standing up or moving while going prone before landing from a certain height. So similar to the other bug we just mentioned above. So that's a good fix. Fix an issue where some animations are canceled when moving with certain steps. This is phenomenal for healing. If you're like me, when you pop a heal, you pop a painkiller, a boost, whatever, you kind of move your stick left and right, or forward and back, left and right, forward and back, just to keep your character moving, make it harder for someone to shoot you. Sometimes your heals would cancel because of whatever programming was done in the game. So they've corrected that, or at least hopefully they have. So that's good. It's a good fix. Fix an issue where sometimes an enemy player was seen shooting the weapon that was on the back of their character. So that's also a good fix. I've seen that happen. Sometimes you think, oh, this guy didn't have a weapon in his hand. He was reloading it, or he doesn't have it out, but he does have it out and he's shooting you with it. So bad bug. I'm glad they fixed it. Fix an issue where you can sometimes see through walls and rock surfaces while riding the motorcycle. Haven't seen that, but that's a good fix. Fix an issue where a camera goes through a vehicle when the vehicle is leaning on an object. Okay. Fix ADS when... Okay, here we go. Fix an issue where ADS worked unreliably when ADSing right after equipping a weapon. So you pick up a weapon, you just got it reloaded, or you just swap to your weapon, you go to ADS, and it has that little bug where it doesn't immediately go to ADS. This is huge for gunfights. If you're quick on the trigger and you get the ADS, the game stops you from doing that and you get shot for it. Hopefully this should fix that. Fix an issue where players sometimes receive collision damage from a motorcycle when another player... Okay, not going to work with that. Rotate through. I'm gonna speed up through these a little bit, guys. Okay. Players' motion is sometimes shown scoping. Fixing characters would vault over other characters. Players would clip through buildings when disembarking motorcycles. Okay. Okay, you go to a buggy, you pop. Character's animation will pop up. Crouching. Fix an issue where a player couldn't see his or teammate's character. Okay, not a huge deal. Fix an issue where a player couldn't loot items such as weapon or ammo on the ground. That's a big bug. That's a good fix. Fix an issue causing a character to be headless when wearing certain skins. Okay, we've seen that before. Fix an issue where players could shoot in abnormal direction free look. Okay, that's interesting. Haven't heard that one. Good fix, though. Fix an issue where an FPP, characters are holding throwables or ready to throw throwables, is moving facing the sky. His or her hand flickers and moves around. Okay, whatever. No big deal. Here we go. Fix an issue where you can no longer get into the rocks on Miramar. That's awesome for the event modes they have. Fix an issue where a player could stand up from a prone position faster than usual in certain conditions. Good fix. Fix an issue where players could use weapons while swimming. Good fix. Screen spectating or screen shaking while spectating is fixed. That's good. Free falling has been fixed a little bit, so you can actually properly move your character. It's good. Fixed an issue where the footsteps sounds of players moving at low speed walking when crouching was not played to other players. So you're in the building, enemy is right next to you or right behind you or in the opposite room next to you, but they're crouch walking. Sometimes they couldn't hear you or you couldn't hear them, and you wonder why you got snuck up on so many times. Good fix. Fix an issue where the character's footsteps couldn't be heard when on carpet. Good fix. Fix an issue when the play button game was frozen in lobby. Okay, good fix. Fix an issue where the world map and the wheel could be open at the same time. Okay, I haven't seen that one. Truck and buggy would block bullets. Good fix. When the plane flew around you, the sound of the plane was not played. To me, it's always been loud as hell, so okay. Fix a rare bug where teammates would receive friendly fire damage even if you weren't aiming at them while shooting. Good fix. Fix an issue where Harley Quinn's hair wouldn't move. Could care less. Fix an issue where a character passed through the barbed wire. It penetrates the character's body or cause an unexpected termination. Wow, good fix. Okay. Fix an issue where the hair when wearing certain beanies. That's not even English. Fix an issue where sometimes the effect sound of adrenaline syringe is continuously played even after canceling. Good fix. Vehicle horns continued after exiting vehicles. To fix. Team list does not correspond when observing. Good fix. Fix an issue where casting gauge for health boosting items and reviving was not shown while observing. Okay, so a lot of these are observing. So this is when you're observing, if you're spectating your teammate after you died, so I'm not going to go over those. Fix an issue where a motorcycle was not mountable on certain angles. Fix an issue where the sound of emote played just before the round begins in the in-game. Okay, I mean, whatever. Fix an issue where the camera passed through the door of certain angles when ADS and close the door on the handgun. Fix an issue where the camera passed through the door on certain angles when ADSing close to the door while holding a handgun. Okay, so you can see through the wall. All right, guys, that's it. That's the PUBG PTS patch notes for December 21st on Xbox and PlayStation 4. I know it was a lot to take in. We had a lot of stuff to go over. It was a big patch. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave me a like and in the comments below about what your favorite feature is looking forward to in this patch. If you didn't like the video, it's okay. Please give me a thumbs down or let me know what I can do to improve for you guys next time. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel for future content. Catch me out on my stream at twitch.tv/C_dome. I also host and cast PUBG Xbox tournaments. We have our Streamers Invitational Tournament coming up December 29th to celebrate end of year. I'd love to see you guys out there. And if you guys would like to see more YouTube videos like this going over patch notes or some how-tos on PUBG content, how to use different weapons and what attachments are best and whatnot, leave that in the comments below too so I can see what you guys would be interested in watching. So thanks again very much, guys, for stopping by today. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. Hope you have a good afternoon. Happy holidays and a Merry Christmas to you, and I look forward to seeing you guys in Vikendi. Take care.